Hey man, I've got something I really need to share with you. Something I wish someone had told me when I was in your shoes. You know that feeling when she suddenly stops texting, stops calling, and you're left hanging in this awkward space of confusion, not sure what happened? Believe me, I've been there. It's frustrating, it's nerve-wracking, and you just start overthinking everything. But listen, there's something deeper behind that silence, something you really need to understand. And I'm not here to lecture you. I'm just sharing this like I would if we were sitting down, talking it through as friends. I know exactly what it feels like to keep refreshing your messages, rereading old texts, trying to piece together any little clue that might explain what went wrong. You start second guessing yourself, wondering if maybe you messed up somehow. But here's the thing, her silence? It's not just empty space. It's a form of communication too, even if it doesn't feel like it. And once you start to realize what that silence is really telling you, things start to make a lot more sense. You start seeing the situation from a different perspective, and that confusion, it fades away. So let's break it down step by step, piece by piece, because there are a few truths buried in that silence you need to hear. These are the kinds of things that might just change how you look at the situation, and hopefully give you some clarity along the way. Alright, point 1. Busy is just an excuse, man. How many times have you heard someone say, "Sorry, I've just been super busy"? It's like a broken record, right? But let's pause for a second and really think about this. How many people do you know who are genuinely crazy busy, working long hours, juggling a million things at once, but they still manage to shoot you a quick text, send a meme, or drop you a voice note every now and then? When someone truly cares about you, they find the time, no matter how packed their schedule is. So here's the reality. When someone starts using "I'm busy" as their excuse for not reaching out, it's not because their life is too full to make time for you. It's because, honestly, you're just not a priority for them anymore. And I know, man, I know. That truth stings. It hurts to admit it. But here's the thing. It's way better to face that uncomfortable truth than to keep living in this weird limbo, holding on to a hope that's slowly fading away. Think about it. Emotional availability isn't something you should have to beg for or earn by being patient, waiting for them to get around to you. It should be given freely by someone who values you, someone who actually makes you a part of their world instead of treating you like an afterthought. And yeah, that kind of clarity isn't easy, but trust me, once you realize it, it becomes a lot easier to see where you stand. You deserve someone who shows up for you, not someone who only reaches out when it's convenient for them. Point 2, if she truly cared, you wouldn't be left guessing. Let's be real here. Caring is not some vague, unclear concept. It's not something that leaves you in the dark, wondering where you stand. When someone genuinely cares about you, they make it clear. You feel comfortable around them, secure both when they're with you and when they're not. You don't have to spend hours over-analyzing texts, wondering if there's hidden meaning behind every word, or wondering why things feel different. That feeling of uncertainty, that's not love, my dude. That's a red flag. Mixed signals, they aren't mysterious or romantic. They're manipulative, even if it's not on purpose. If she really cared, her actions would be consistent. You wouldn't be left trying to decode whether she's into you or just keeping you around as a backup. Real interest doesn't bring confusion or make you question her intentions. It brings clarity and peace of mind. When someone is truly interested in you, you don't feel like you're walking on eggshells, wondering if you've said the wrong thing or if she's just losing interest. So, if you find yourself constantly analyzing her messages, or worse, her silence, wondering what it all means, it's time to take a step back and really think about what's going on. That's not love. It's emotional instability disguised as romantic tension, and that's not something you should settle for. A woman who truly wants you, she'll make it crystal clear. You won't have to guess. You'll know because her actions will speak louder than any excuse she could come up with. Quick break. Close your eyes for a second. Picture her, the girl you've always wanted. Feel what it would be like to actually have her. Now open your eyes, because here's the truth. Right now, you're invisible to her. You're getting outcompeted by guys with more money, better looks, higher status, and stronger game. You're playing a rigged game, and you're losing, but I've spent the last 35 years mastering this, studying, testing, and finally finding the secrets to get the girls I always wanted. You want to stop getting ignored? You want her chasing you? Then you need to wake up and act. Click the link in the comments if you are truly committed and take the first step toward becoming that guy. Few spots left. Be fast or miss out your last chance to make her yours. Let's get back to it. Point 3. You're not the problem, the dynamic is. Here's a mistake I see too many men make. They internalize her emotional distance, thinking it's somehow their fault. We start to wonder, was I too soft? Too eager? Too emotional? And that shame? It's misplaced, man. Her inconsistency and how she shows up in the relationship isn't a reflection of your inadequacy. It's a sign that something in the dynamic isn't right. It's proof that either the connection isn't as strong or as mutual as you thought, or that she's simply emotionally unavailable. And that's on her, not you. Think of it this way. Relationships are like a dance. You can't pull off a smooth, steady waltz if the other person is dancing to a completely different rhythm. Or worse, if they're not even dancing at all. It doesn't mean you're a bad dancer. It just means you're dancing with the wrong partner. If every time you interact, you feel like you're walking on eggshells, adjusting your tone, hiding your true needs, or turning into a version of yourself you barely recognize just to keep the peace, that's not love. That's emotional compromise. And there's a big difference between compromising in a healthy way and losing yourself in the process. Compromise is an essential part of any healthy relationship, but self-abandonment is a different story. When you start twisting yourself into emotional knots just to keep her interested or to make the relationship work, that's not a sign of love. It's a sign that you're neglecting yourself in the process. And here's the truth, your worth is not up for debate. The right woman won't need you to shrink down, chase her, or jump through hoops to prove you're worthy. She'll see your value and meet you with the same energy you bring to the table. A healthy relationship isn't about constantly adjusting to someone else's needs at the cost of your own. It's about mutual respect, balance, and shared effort. So don't let her emotional distance convince you that something's wrong with you. Sometimes the problem isn't you. It's the dynamic, and recognizing that is the first step toward freeing yourself from all the unnecessary stress and self-doubt. Point 4. Silence doesn't mean wait, it means walk. Let me tell you something that keeps a lot of guys stuck in this emotional limbo. It's the fantasy, the belief that maybe she's just going through something, maybe she needs space, maybe tomorrow she'll suddenly reach out and things will go back to normal. It feels like a romantic notion, but here's the harsh truth. It's a trap. Silence is never neutral, my man. It's not a placeholder, and it's not a pause button. Silence is a decision. When someone stops reaching out, stops checking in, stops showing up, they've already started stepping away, even if they haven't said the words out loud. What happens next isn't loyalty. What happens when you wait around for that person to realize your value is that you end up stuck in a cycle of hoping, wishing, and trying to fill the empty space with excuses. And that doesn't bring you closer to what you want. It just keeps you in this perpetual state of uncertainty. You deserve clarity. You deserve someone who's fully present in your life, not someone who leaves you hanging in a state of confusion. Now, I want you to really hear this. Silence is closure without the courtesy. It's the answer you've been waiting for, even though it hasn't been said directly. It's the universe telling you that it's time to move on, not to wait for some grand moment of reconciliation. It's not your job to sit around, hoping she remembers your worth. It's your responsibility to remember it yourself. Stop interpreting silence as a sign to hold on, because it's actually a sign to let go. The longer you stay in that in-between space, the longer you delay the peace and emotional connection that's truly meant for you. The truth is, doors that close on their own don't need to be reopened. They need to be respected, and you need to honor them. Moving on isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of self-respect and growth. You deserve someone who shows up, someone who values you, and someone who doesn't leave you guessing. So take that silence as the sign it is. Walk away, because you're only delaying your own peace by staying where you don't belong. Point 5. Don't chase attention, protect your energy. Here's something that most guys don't realize until it's too late. Every time you find yourself chasing after someone who keeps pulling away, you're not just losing your time, you're leaking your self-worth. It starts off small, like a little voice in your head saying, if I just say the right thing, if I show her how much I care, maybe she'll finally come around. But that mindset, that's exactly what drains your energy and your power. Because here's the reality. The more you try to prove yourself to someone who isn't emotionally available, the more disconnected you become from your own value. You start to believe that you have to earn love, that attention is conditional, that your needs are just an inconvenience. You begin to lower your standards, compromise your boundaries, just to keep the conversation alive, just to feel like you're still in the game. But let me tell you something, that's not love. That's survival mode. Real love isn't about begging for attention or proving your worth. It's about feeling seen and valued for who you are without having to jump through hoops or audition for someone's affection. It's about mutual respect and genuine connection. And if you're constantly running after someone who isn't giving you the same energy, then you're not in a loving relationship. You're in a cycle that's draining you emotionally and spiritually. You need to protect your energy like it's the most precious thing you have, because it is. Think of it like your last dollar. Once you spend it on someone who doesn't value it, getting that energy back takes time. And trust me, healing from that emotional debt isn't a quick process. It's not something that can be fixed with a few positive affirmations or a couple of good nights of sleep. It's a slow rebuild, and often it requires you to fully step away and reclaim your worth. Here's the kicker. Someone who truly wants you won't make you chase after their attention. They'll meet you where you are because they'll recognize your worth without needing a reminder. They'll understand that you're not someone to be convinced of. You're someone who is already enough. So stop chasing after the wrong people and start investing in the relationships that lift you up. Protect your energy and remember who you are, because that's the most important thing you'll ever have in this world. So here's the bottom line, bro. Her silence isn't punishment, it's protection. It's the universe stepping in and saying, this person isn't for you. It's one of the clearest messages she could ever send, even without uttering a single word. Silence in this situation isn't a question, it's an answer. And it's a wake-up call you've got to hear. The people who are truly meant for you, they won't leave you in the dark. They won't make you guess about where you stand or how they feel. They'll be present, they'll be consistent, and they'll make sure you never have to question your worth or your place in their life. But here's the real breakthrough, man. The moment you start treating yourself the way you've been hoping she would treat you, respecting your own worth, honoring your own needs, putting yourself first, that's when everything shifts. That's when the right kind of people, the ones who truly value you, will start showing up. Because the energy you protect, the energy you project, it's what you attract. If you protect your peace and your value, you'll start drawing people into your life who match that frequency. You're not meant to be half loved or stuck in the shadows. You're meant to be seen, chosen, and respected for everything you are. Never forget that. You deserve someone who shows up for you just as much as you show up for them. And remember, the moment you start respecting yourself, the universe will bring the right people into your life. People who won't make you chase after them, but who will meet you where you are and make sure you never question your value. You got this. If you found this insight valuable, make sure to subscribe to The Girl's Mind for more wisdom on mastering your life and attraction. Until next time, stay strong, stay centered, and always remember, the key to attraction isn't in chasing, it's in being. But for those of you who are serious about stepping up and taking control, I've created a one-on-one chat with me. Choose your package and let's solve any problem you're facing, whether it's crushing your goals or handling that conversation with a girl.